Hi and welcome. My name is Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Me. In this video, we're going to look at how to use the Open feature within Microsoft Excel, as well as the Save As feature within Excel to do things like open existing files or to save an existing file as a new file, either a new file name, a new file location, or maybe even a new file type. So if any of these topics are interesting to you, go ahead and join us in this video. All right, if you want to follow along, go ahead and open up exercise file 02.11 and you'll have the same information that we have here. So in the last video, we went ahead and we looked at the idea of creating a new document. The way that we created a new document was, say, go to the File menu and go to New. We then looked at the idea of saving that file. So we went to File, Save. When you save a new file, it will automatically default to Save As. We picked a file location. I think we saved it on our desktop and we called it Test Excel File, right? So I'm gonna hit Escape to cancel out of that. Now, if you wanted to open a file, so let's say that we wanted to open that file that we created in the last video. If we wanted to open it, we would go to our File menu. Once we're in the File menu, you would go to Open. And when you have the open dialog box, there's a couple of different choices. So first is a set of recent workbooks. So that would be often a good option. Second would be opening something from OneDrive, which is Microsoft's cloud storage. So if you were signed in and you had an account, you could do that. The third choice is often going to be my computer or the computer. In this case, it has recent folders, or I could go to Browse and pick the specific folder. Or lastly, we could say go to Add Place. So I'm going to go to Browse, and because we saved that file on my desktop, I'd maybe scroll up here to Desktop, and here it is, Test Excel File. I double click that and it would open up the file. And as we talked about in the last video, if we were to make some changes and then use the keyboard shortcut Control S or come up here and say Save, then once we close this document, we can use the keyboard shortcut Control O to open, or if we wanted to, we could just go to the File menu, go to Open. And this time, rather than come to my computer and browse your places, come up here to Desktop, let's instead use the method of going to Open. And look, it is the file that we've opened most recently. So we'd go to Test File, and that would also open up that document. And because we use the keyboard shortcut Control S, or we use the save functionality, this new word changes has appeared. But what if we want to create a duplicate or a new version of the file? If you want to create a new version of the file, the way that you would do that would be by using the Save As function within Microsoft Excel. There's a couple of ways to create a new file. So the first would be to come here to the File menu and go to the Save As function. You'll get kind of similar interface to what we've looked at before, but maybe we'll go to Browse, and it's going to default to my folder where it is currently located, which in my case is the desktop. So maybe we'll call this Test Excel File version 2. So we'll call it Test Excel File version 2. If we wanted to, we could consider changing the file type, or we could change the file location. Maybe we could put it in our Documents folder, but I'm going to leave it here on my desktop. I'm going to leave the file extension or the file type as an Excel workbook, and I'm going to just call it a new name. So once I hit Save, it will create this new file, which is now called Test Excel File version 2. And you'll notice that that other document that I had open, that of Test Excel File, is no longer open. So it defaults to save it as the new file name, and it will essentially close the old file. So let's say that we made some changes here. Maybe we put this in bold and increase the size of the text. If and when you go to save this file, as I am doing here, once you close it, you would have two different files, right? So we can see the difference in these two files. We have Test Excel File and then Test Excel File version 2. When we open this, it would essentially still have changes in that smaller text. And then let's say that we open up version 2, it will now have that larger text. So again, in this video, we looked at the idea of opening up an existing file. So I'll close this and I'll say open up an existing file. The way that we did that would be go to the file menu and go to open. We can then either use a recent document or we can browse our computer. If we choose to browse our computer, double click and then open that document there. If we wanted to save it as a new file or a new file type, we could go to File, Save As, and then let's just say the same location, and we'll call this version 3. And then we could make additional changes, so we could change that to red. So if we save it, then when we open up version 2, it would be black text, and I'm opening this by pressing Control-O. Version 3 would be red text. All right, so in the last 2 videos, we looked at how to create a new document, how to save an existing document, how to open an existing document, and then how to save an existing document as a new file name or a new file path. So with that, we've come to the end of section 1, or rather maybe it's section 2, who knows what section it is. But in our next video, we'll go ahead and we'll start discussing the different ways to enter data within Microsoft Excel. We'll specifically look at entering data, editing data, using the undo and redo functions within Microsoft Excel, as well as a series of other functions that are related to entering data. So if you're interested in entering data, go ahead and join us in the next section, in the next video, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. All right, bye for now, and as always, thanks for watching.